I'm Ross from Airsoft, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new E&L 2.0 Essential series of AEGs. Now, if you like AK replicas, you've probably heard of E&L. They've been around for a long time and are notably known for doing a very realistic feeling and looking replica. And today is no exception. I have 4 of their brand new 2.0 Essential series in front of me. The first thing to note is that E&L has come together with Umarex to distribute these in the US. So these are being distributed by Umarex, however they are still being produced and made by E&L. I have 4 models here in front of me. I have their classic AKM style. I have 2 AK-74Ns, one with the full wood stock and one with the skeletonized stock. And then I have their AK-74UN here. And we are going to be taking a look at the differences between these rifles and kind of what's the same between all of them. So let's hop right into it. So the first thing that we can just address right off the bat is the amazing construction of these replicas. The full wood construction on both the stock and the handguard, as well as a full metal upper and lower. The only part on this replica that is going to be coming polymer is your handguard down here. Now, the main differences between these replicas are the externals and what you see. So obviously we have the full stock on both of these models, we have the skeletonized stock on both of these, and that is a folding stock as well. We also have slightly different flash hiders on all 3, just depending on the model you get. We also have a different barrel length for the UN compared to the N. And then on these 3 more modernized guys, you're going to have a Picatinny rail attachment on the left side of your receiver, which is going to allow you to mount any top optics. The AKM model does not come with that. It is a straight smooth side, which I personally prefer, that kind of vintage classic look. Now on the reverse side of these guys, there is an E&L logo stamped on there, as well as some other trademarks up near the top of the receiver. We also have your markings on the selector switch for safe, semi, and full auto. And then your dust cover pops up to reveal your battery placement right in there. And as I said, each replica has a different style of flash hider on there. However, once you remove those, you'll be met with 14mm counterclockwise threads, which you can add on any sort of aftermarket attachments on there. E&L has also upgraded their mag plate, so you're going to have a new piece in here, which is going to allow for your mags to seat in just a bit better. It allows for more mag compatibility, so some mags that might not have fit in your E&Ls in the past should now fit a little bit better. It also mitigates that mag wobble, so you're not going to have much movement in your magazine there. Now to talk about the internals a little bit. So the biggest change that I think that they've made is with their hop-up system. We are now using a rotary style hop-up. It is made of polymer. And then that hop-up comes with a V-style bucking to ensure for a bit more accuracy out of your replica. And then you have your standard metal gears in your E&L, as well as a full rack metal piston. These guys have 9mm steel bearings, as well as an E-Shooter Kestrel V3 ETU. Now underneath this dust cover where that battery compartment is, it is going to be wired to Deans. The replicas do come with a Deans to Tamiya adapter in the box, so you do have that option to run a Tamiya battery as well. And then these guys do have a quick change spring system. Much like many AK replicas, you do still have to remove your gearbox from the lower to be able to access that quick change. You cannot do it from inside the body, but it does make it one more step faster to quick change that spring if you need to. So speaking of changing your spring, if you decide to go and run this guy out at a field, you should expect your Chrono to be around 380 FPS with a 0.2. So if you're planning on running indoors, think about swapping your spring down as soon as you get the replica. If you're playing outdoors, you should be good to go with it right out of the box. Now, for my very quick pros and cons, because there's not really a lot to say about these replicas. I'd say my biggest pro is obviously their feel and construction. The construction is obviously premium, and you are getting what you pay for there alone. Running these guys, they feel very secure in your hands. They feel like they're not going to break if you throw them around and treat them roughly. They are frankly built very well. Now, for my brief list of cons, I'll say one of my bigger cons with any AK replica is going to be the battery space, especially if you're using that Deans to Tamiya adapter. You're going to have a really hard time fitting all those wires and your battery underneath your dust cover. However, that is not an issue that is specific to E&L by any means. This is just AKs in general. So that is just something to note when you're picking one up. Think about your battery space. The other small thing that I'm going to say, and this is really nitpicking, is I'm not the biggest fan of the English writing on the selector switch. I personally prefer to keep it a little more period accurate. I'd also rather not have the E&L logo stamped on there. However, I totally understand why they do it. And that is just a personal preference and really me nitpicking things. Because at the end of the day, I don't have much bad to say about these replicas. They operate fantastically. They feel great in the hands. For their price point, it's pretty much exactly what you would want. All right, and that wraps up my overview of the E&L Essential 2.0 series AEGs. If you have any questions about these replicas or anything in general at all, you can go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. You can also head over to our Discord where we have some pretty great conversations about Airsoft in the community. If you have any questions about these replicas specifically, always feel free to email us at sales@ampedairsoft.com, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.